Our republic is being restored. We the people must learn to stay free. How do we govern ourselves? We must learn the ancient ways. Come along on this journey of the Hidalgo show and learn how to be free. Welcome to Season 3. Hey guys, this is Rick from TWA. It is extremely important in these days that we live that everyone has private forms of communication, not only for everyday conversations, but also for things such as purchases, medical records, and travel plans. Email is one of the most important forms of messaging for the most sensitive types of information. In the name of convenience and free services, companies have slipped things into their policies that allow them to watch your every move on the web. Your information is being used and purchased in ways that continue to become more invasive by the day. Getting a private email account is only the first step in taking back as much of your privacy as you can. Go to the link provided below this video to secure your very own private email account for $3.99 a month or just $39.99 a year. If you act today, you get your first month on me by entering coupon code 46CQDJDT. That's 46CQDJDT at checkout. Start today. Protect your information now. Hello, dear friends. This is Rick, and this is the Hidalgo Show. Today, we're going to just kind of make this short and sweet. I wanted to show you another concept. That concept is the concept of allegiance and how it relates to self-governance, because self-governance is how you prove out who your allegiance is to. And since the Bible tells us we can only serve one master, we have to assure ourselves through our self-governance that we are in fact making allegiance with whom it is that we wish to align with. So let's look quick at the definition of allegiance, and I think the definition number two is the deep state definition of allegiance: the obligation of an alien to the government under which the alien resides. A lot of you know that we're all kind of seen as aliens to this corporation. But the first definition, 1B, the fidelity owed by a subject or citizen to a sovereign or government. The obligation of a feudal vassal to his liege lord. Now it's interesting because that's actually a very accurate definition for allegiance, the obligation of a feudal vassal to his liege lord, because all of us are vassals. This is where the law of agency comes in, and I've done an entire series on the law of agency in my second season. You can go back and find that on our YouTube channel, where all of the second season material is still there and has not been messed with. So go to the second season and check out my law of agency study. But let me just kind of summarize in that a vassal is, here, let's look at the definition. Using the Common Dictionary, which is Merriam-Webster, a vassal is a person under the protection of a feudal lord to whom he has vowed homage and fealty. So another way to say that is a feudal tenant. Well, that's curious because if you notice, when you get a deed for any kind of land in the United States, it lists you as a tenant. And in a sense, they're saying that because you registered your property and obtained a deed from the state, that what you're actually doing is you are placing you are vowing your homage to the state, and you're becoming a feudal tenant. Now, this is typical of what a vassal is. You have to decide who it is that you have allegiance to, and then you're under their protection. You're under the protection according to the laws or the terms and conditions that you have made out with that authority. Okay? So, if you've registered, going back to our discussion about registration, if you've registered to a county, a state, to a country, if you have registered, you have claimed homage and you've given over administration. If something comes up that needs to be adjudicated, guess what? They're going to pull you in to their court under their rules, because that's what you've agreed to, and they're going to conduct themselves according to their rules, even if you disagree with their rules. Okay, because that's what you have committed to. So allegiance is a very important concept of self-governance, and without determining what allegiance you're going to have, you may make lots of mistakes in whom you choose to be a vassal for. In the case of my household, we've sought to become a vassal of Yahushua HaMashiach, that's Jesus Christ. Now, this is an organic thing, okay? And I'm going to give you the definition of organic so you know what I mean. Now, I'm not talking about farming, so this first definition, which is relating to yielding or involving the use of food produced, or these kind of things, let's not look at that definition. We're looking at the second one, which is relating to or derived from living organisms. Okay, so when I say organic, I'm saying it's of a living organism. A dead thing like a corporation, okay, doesn't have the jurisdiction or the authority to be a government, to be something that you pledge allegiance to. You can pledge allegiance to a country because it's organic. It comes from the people, from living organisms. You cannot pledge allegiance to a corporation. You can serve as an agent to a corporation, but your allegiance is limited to that which is the organic law. Okay? And it's limited to whatever your contract is with that particular corporation. So the contract makes the law. So what's our contract under Yahushua HaMashiach? What's our contract? Our contract really comes down to the New Testament. Really, it comes down specifically to the Great Commission. So if we examine the Great Commission, which we should do, I'm just going to go ahead and go right over here, and I'm going to type in the Great Commission. Right? Okay. And I'm going to go to Bible Gateway, and instead of using the NIV, we're going to go ahead and change it to the King James, just to stay consistent. Here it is. All right. Now, so what's it say? It says, then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee into a mountain where Jesus had appointed them. So Jesus said, let's gather here, and then I'm going to come and talk to you. All right. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. All power. How much power? All power. So some of it reserved for organic governments? No. All power. Every power. Okay? Every gate was released to him under his authority. So this concept that Satan is the god of this world, that's been over since the cross. Okay? That's over. He was given all power in heaven and in earth. So let's read that again. And Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore, here's a command. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. So let's think about this. What does that include? That includes every element of your life in which he spoke into. What element of your life did he not speak into? He was fulfilling the law. He came to fulfill the law. So it includes the concepts of law which came from that law. Okay? It includes them. So by including, am I talking about we should still be sacrificing animals? No. No. He fulfilled that law. He was the sacrifice. And now the concept, the spirit of that law continues. So the 10 Commandments are still alive because that's the spirit of the law. And the greatest of these are what? What did he teach? He taught that to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? A lot of people call that the golden rule. I don't see where it calls it that in the scripture, but for sake of argument, I'm just going to go ahead and say, right, the golden rule. That is the rule. Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. It's a very simple thing, but it kind of combines all of the different law and puts it into a very simplistic form. Now, that includes everything. So then why would we betray that law and betray our master, of whom we are a vassal, and go to say, let's say something very simple like registering our children to go to a school? Okay. What has he directed us as to what to teach our children? I think that's very specifically spoken of in the Old Testament. And I think we can certainly derive that there are certain things that we should be teaching our children that are not taught in public schools. Okay? So I'm not saying you're scolding you. This isn't a scolding session. I'm just giving you an example of why do we turn ourselves over to these things. So in a lot of states, right, you have to ask permission to homeschool. They have these things called homeschool exemptions. So you sign this piece of paper. It says under blank blank codified law blank blank blank. What are you agreeing to? Codified law? What? That's not the law of your father. That's not the law of Yahushua HaMashiach. The law of Yahushua HaMashiach is to teach your kids to observe him, to observe his ways. That is the law of Yahushua HaMashiach. Is that done in public school? I don't think so. Is that done in private school? Well, maybe. I don't know. There might be some that do. But the bottom line is, why do you involve yourself in contracts, in registrations, in applications that actually exalt a different God? Why would you do that? You don't. Not if you're self-governing under Yahushua HaMashiach, under the authority that he gave, because he received all power. All power is given unto me in heaven and earth. Go ye therefore. Therefore means because of, right? Because I have all power, I am telling you what to do. Go ye and teach all nations. Teach them. Baptize them along the way. Baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Convert them. Assimilate them, right? Bring them into naturalization. And then teach them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. He has commanded us many things, and we are to comply. We are to teach our children those things about what Yahushua HaMashiach, or Jesus Christ, has said. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. You ever heard of the concept of principle? Notice the principle is notice the agent, and notice the agent is notice the principle. Okay, that's a very simple concept in law. So if you noticed an agent, that notice is presumed to have gone to the principal, and the same thing back and forth. If you notice the principal, it's presumed that you've noticed the agent. Okay, well, if Jesus is the only begotten Son of Yahuwah, okay, of Yah, then obviously that which Yah has taught through the sacred scriptures is still applying. It's just that parts of that law have been fulfilled. So there's no more sacrifice. You don't have to eat only fish during Lent. Come on, people. Wake up. Wake up, Stop registering into foreign vassalages that actually promote false teachings, but come under the umbrella of Yahushua HaMashiach, of Jesus Christ. He is the easy way. His burden is light. It's the easy way. Okay? Yes, the path is narrow and straight, but it's narrow and straight. It's easy to see. Narrow and straight. It doesn't curve all over the place. You don't have to go out of bounds here and out of bounds there and over the rocks here and over the water there. It is straight and narrow. Simple is the way, but broad is the way that leads to destruction. Broad meaning you can get lost. You can't get lost on the way with Christ. It's straight and narrow. You're going down your hallway in your home. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to bring this to your attention. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about allegiance. I'm not going to go into that much more, but allegiance is very, very, very powerful and very important. In future episodes now, I'm going to bring this all together. We're going to talk about allegiance, administration, and your vassalage. We're going to talk about all this stuff. All right? And I'm going to show you now a hands-on approach of how to govern yourself. And it's going to be in a written form. Okay? Telling you. Written form. You set up your government however you see fit, according to the principle that you have committed an allegiance to, and you walk it out. Do not be scared or intimidated when these dumb dead corporations come at you and send you a letter to scare you into doing something because they don't understand your administration. You turn right around and tell them, hey, thank you for contacting the administration of blankety blank house, whatever it is. Okay? Now, here's how it is with us. All right? You either deal with it, or here's a schedule of fees for trying to impair us from our God-given rights. You can use their Title 18. What is it, Section 242? Title 18, Section 242. Go look at it and go, if they try to deprive you of rights, if they try to deprive you of even some privileges, Did you know that? Did you know that it's not just a deprivation of rights, but also a deprivation of privileges? They can't do that either. So let's say, okay, let's just hypothetically think, all right, let's just imagine for a second there was this big Western central bank, right? Not that it actually exists, but there's this big Western central bank, right? And they control everything, and they control both sides of every war, all this kind of thing. Let's just imagine this for a second. So I want you to think about Title 18, Section 242, right? It's a deprivation of rights also for privileges. So think about this. Let's, if there was a big, powerful entity, say, that took away your wealth, and they replaced your wealth with a law that said that they would that you'd be able to discharge all of your debt. Let's say House Joint Resolution 192, something like that. Okay, and I'm just making up these numbers. I don't know if it actually exists. You go look it up. And then suddenly, suddenly they decided, well, we're not going to let you discharge your debt. No, we're not going to let you discharge your debt. Do you know that that's a violation of your privilege? If they took away the only form of real money, right? Let's just imagine that that's the case. They take away the only form of real money and they replace it with some kind of crazy paper, Mad Lib money, and it's backed by nothing, and they can print as much of it as they want. Does not leave you in a state where you have no recourse? Right, you have no recourse. The only recourse you have is what's in law. And what's in law? There's this law that they created that says you can discharge your debt because it's the way it is. We took away your money, so here's what you get. So then you go to try to discharge your debt, and guess what? They say, no, can't do it. No, we don't do that anymore. Okay, then give me real money and I'll pay for it myself. Well, we don't have that either. Sorry, it is what it is. Guess what? That's a Title 18, Section 242 violation. Did you know that? Just saying, nobody needs to go get in trouble over this. Don't try anything stupid. But get to know your rights and your responsibilities and your privileges. Get to know them and enforce them. How do you enforce them? You actually live it. Live it. Live it. Tell them, here is how it is. Either take it or here's my schedule of fees. And yes, you will be obligated under the schedule of fees because that's part of my counter offer to you. Because everything that they send to you, this Babylonian corporation, I covered that in season 2 as well. It's called Babylonian presumptivism. Okay? Everything that they send you is an offer. So you have the right to counter offer their offer. They are just a governmental service corporation. They're a corporation that's providing governmental services. That is all they are. So, counter offer. And if they don't like it, well, I guess they're telling you, hey, go on and live your life. So, that was free. Not charging anything. I would like you to watch the ad that I'm going to put in at the end of this show, and I'd like you to go and participate in shopyourfarm.com. So if you would stick around for a few minutes and listen to what we've got to say about Shop Your Farm, and I think you'll be very pleased. I know the people behind Shop Your Farm, awesome people, and they love freedom and liberty, and that's what it's all about. So you take that for what it's worth, and you make a decision as to whether you'll participate or not. But it's a good place. You should try it. With that said, it's enough. This is way longer than I thought it was going to be. God bless you. God bless America. And remember, everything we do here at the House of Hidalgo show, well, it's all about the blood. Good night. Hello, everyone. This is Rick from the Hidalgo show. I wanted to introduce you to a great new site built by a very good friend of mine who happens to be a minister. ShopYourFarm.com is a place that you can bring your products, your produce, or your service and find other like-minded private vendors that want to do business. In fact, it's a great place to find new consumers. We're trying to build this site, so if you would, send your friends and family, get on as a vendor, and let's start to make trades with each other in the private. That's what it's all about. You can come here and you can do shopping, or you can go to your video conference and video conference with other vendors and also with other consumers who want to buy your product. This site has it all the bells, all the whistles for a very low price. You can come here and you can join at www.shopyourfarm.com. Come on and let's get started doing business. Our republic is being restored. We the people must learn to stay free. How do we govern ourselves? We must learn the ancient ways. Come along on this journey of the Hidalgo show and learn how to be free. Welcome to Season 3.